Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Washdown podcast. This will be episode 167 with Leon Lamphear. Um, I know the intro is a little different than normal with me sitting in front of the camera. Um, just kind of had a couple things on my mind that I wanted to say. Um, this episode was shot several months ago, right after the murder of firefighter paramedic Graham Hoffman. He was stabbed to death in the back of an ambulance by a patient. Um, I made the decision to not post this episode. Um, you know, basically because it was very raw at the time. Um, I wanted to give myself some time to sit with it because Leon and I, that was a majority of the conversation that we talked about. Because this is becoming all too common with violence against first responders. I was kind of waiting to see if, there would be any changes, any policies put in place, anything that would be a positive movement in the right direction. And unfortunately, there has been zero. Um, yeah, it's just disappointing. I can't even call leadership anymore. They're admin, and it's really sad. I'm not going to go off on a tangent about that. Um, so this is going to be, viewer discretion advised. It's a pretty raw episode and deals with the pretty heavy topics. So um, hopefully you guys will get something out of it. Um, so anyway, here's episode 167 of the Washdown podcast with police officer Leon Lamphear. So yeah, no rush. It's just kind of starting to get back into this. So
Yeah.
I'll probably end up holding this for a minute or two. So I have a couple in the bag before I release anything. So,
Nice.
but yeah, thanks for doing it.
Yeah, of
Thanks
course,
for
man.
thanks for coming back. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Um, Whatever you want to talk about. Like, I'm open to talk
Well,
about anything, man. Like, you and I talked on text or spoke on text for a little bit about a few things and our frustrations. So,
yeah,
like,
yeah, and I
you
think
see it
we
from a
can.
different side. I see it from, like, the police side. You see it from the fire side. So,
Yeah, and I think we could probably have a good conversation about that. So, um, yeah, we'll just jump right into it. I mean, acknowledge the quote unquote elephant in the room.
mm-hmm.
Graham Hoffman, paramedic that got stabbed to death, and
Mm-hmm.
we had a bunch of conversations about that of what's the policy and what should have happened, and
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, neither one of us were there, so
Yeah.
we don't know what happened, exactly what happened, or whatever. But like solutions going forward,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, what are policies that we could put in place, that would make it safer for the officers and the medics and the firefighters on the street whenever dealing with, because let's just be honest, man, the uptick in EDP, emotionally disturbed person calls, that fire and police run,
Yeah.
it's exponentially grown every year, at least since I've been on the department. Most especially, I would say in the last 5 years, I think is where I've seen that kind of call volume really kind of just go through the roof. Um, so, I mean, if you've got ideas, I'm open for them. I mean, mine were, obviously we're not riding two in an ambulance anymore. We're riding three. So there's two
Yeah.
people in the back at all times. Always have. Don't send an ambulance by themselves on stuff.
Yeah.
If we can't afford the staffing, or your department can't afford the staffing to ride 3 on the ambulance, send the fire truck with them.
Yeah.
And take one off the fire truck, ride them in the ambulance. A lot of places do that already because they run BLS ambulance services.
Mm-hmm.
The medic's on the fire truck. So he's having to get in the ambulance anyway. And then you're riding two.
What do you mean
in
by
the back.
BLS? The internal?
Yeah, so
Okay.
so the way that most places run ambulances are you're going to have a paramedic and an EMT on the ambulance. A lot of places, because of the nationwide shortage of medics, they run a BLS ambulance, which is just 2 EMTs. And they'll have a paramedic that's on the fire truck.
Okay.
Because it's easier to staff that way, and you have to have less of them in that capacity.
Yeah.
So whenever they go on a call, whenever the ambulance gets there and goes, oh, this is ALS, then the fire truck shows up. Paramedic jumps off of the fire truck onto the ambulance. They go to the hospital, then back onto the fire truck.
Yeah.
So
does the fire truck follow them there, or does the ambulance end up bringing them back?
It depends on the department.
Yeah.
So, I mean, me personally, I would say follow them that way. You're out of service anyway.
Yeah.
So just follow them, pick your guy up.
There's no delay.
Yeah.
That if something does come out,
Yeah.
they're there. Yeah.
So
that's one. It's kind of mind blowing for me that there's an ambulance only running 2 EMTs and not a paramedic.
Yeah, it's so I know Seattle does that
Mm-hmm.
quite a bit, and I think Memphis maybe does it as well.
Mm.
Omaha might do it.
Yeah.
There's several cities that have gone to that, but like I said, that was response to nationwide shortage of paramedics.
Yeah.
And all of your fire departments that have absorbed the ambulance services, like major metropolitan areas, well, now all of a sudden they need all of these paramedics.
Yeah.
And they're not there.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta apply, they gotta accept it, they gotta go to school, and the school's not short, and the school's not easy.
18 months.
Yeah.
And most people don't make it all the way through.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I believe it. So. So why don't we do a brief overview of what happened with Graham, and then we kind of talk about some things that.
Kick your.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Up. Yeah.
We can do a brief overview of Graham. You're going to know a little bit more probably about it than I would. I'm familiar with it. And then we can kind of talk about not a policy change, but simple. I don't know about policies. I don't write them.
Yeah.
I'm just expected to follow them, right? Just like you are. But simple common sense fixes that would probably have not caused this to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, what happened, to give the whole backstory, there was a individual who 3 days prior to the event happening, had been trying to break into a sheriff's deputy's car.
Yeah.
And he had confronted her. She tried to walk off, then tried to walk into his house. And this is all according to the news article that was written.
Yeah.
And this was written before she stabbed Graham to death.
Mm-hmm.
So, she apparently got into an altercation with the cop when he tried to arrest her, and she tried to grab his knife and stab him. So,
yeah,
she gets arrested, gets taken to jail, and is promptly released on like $1,000 bond.
Mm-hmm. That was paid by a bondsman.
Yeah. So, fast forward 3 days. It's 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't remember exactly what time, but it was late. Some do-gooder citizen calls in a person walking down the highway. And the police department shows up, and they're like, hey, can we take you somewhere? Do you need a ride? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
She's like refusing any kind of service. Well, then they notice that she has a cut finger. So, okay, now we're going to call the ambulance. So the ambulance shows up. You want to go to the hospital? No. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Finally, yes, I want to go to the hospital. So they get her in the back of the ambulance. I don't know if they had started moving or like the timeline there. I don't have 100%, but at some point, once she was back in the ambulance and the EMT had gone around and gotten to the front, um, she produced a knife, and there's debate on where that knife came from. I don't know 100%, so I'm not going to say. But she proceeded to stab Graham multiple times, and like 3 times in the heart, I think. And that's eventually what killed him.
Yeah.
So, because she cut one of his arteries in the heart.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's tough. Obviously, we can look at the aspect, or let's say from her side of it, right? She's a criminal,
yeah.
and criminals are going to do things that aren't normal, right? If someone has it in their state of mind that they're going to, like, she already tried to grab the deputy's knife, right? From what I understand, too, she may have like attempted to grab a few things off of his gun belt as well. So
Yeah.
whether she was going for his gun or something else, more than likely his gun.
Yeah.
But then she tries to go for his knife,
Yeah.
right? If someone's going to do something bad, they're going to find a way to do it. It doesn't really, it sounds like with her that it didn't matter who it was.
Yeah.
I don't know what her deal was. I don't know what her history is, or what, like, she has mental health issues. I would probably say we're going to err on the side that she probably does.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're going to do something bad, they're going to do something bad, whether it's minuscule or leads up to a homicide and the loss of, a teammate, right? It's tough. We can start at the beginning, right? Because we had discussed this.
Yeah.
How do we ensure the safety of our, paramedics, firefighters, and EMTs, and people that are on the ambulance in general? Because what if it's not an EMT? What if it's someone riding along, right? They're just in school following,
Yeah.
right? The safety of everybody on that. How do we ensure that, right? And we kind of talked about how anytime, especially at my old agency and then at my new agency, nobody gets on an ambulance without some kind of a pat down.
Yeah.
Right? Or you're not going to get service.
Yeah.
And I completely, and that can be me telling them that. If they want to say, hey,
So,
screw off, like you're violating my Fourth Amendment right? Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. But then at the same time, my paramedic or my EMT can say, well, I'm not helping you, right? Unless it's a dire situation. Like, hey, because like, let's be honest, majority of them are just they just want to be transported, right?
oh, yeah.
And
I
go to
would-
a hospital for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's to get out of the cold, the heat, to get food, to get some kind of minor medical treatment,
Yeah.
but
to avoid jail.
right. And at the end of the day, they can right. At the end of the day, that the fire service, the EMS service can say, well, based on these circumstances and in policy, right, we're not going to let you on this until you're at least checked for some kind of weapons, and to make sure that we're safe to transport you.
Yeah.
Right? Because safety is a priority. It's always number one.
You would think that, but, and kind of quick sidebar, I have been, since this has happened, I've had several instances where I've been on calls with people who have sat here and we've had conversations about safety and we're going to do the right thing and we need change and all this stuff. And then they go do exactly the same fucking thing that they've been doing that is not safe. It's like, you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
Like, we have to have a standard. Like, and it needs to start now, and we need to push it.
Mhm.
Because if we don't, if we just keep doing the same fucking behaviors over and over again, we're going to have the same outcomes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Would it have changed the scenario? I don't know, because we don't know where the knife came from, right?
right.
Whether she had it on her person or she took it from somebody. All right. Would a pat down or anything like that for safety have changed the scenario? We don't know, right? But I guarantee at the end of the day that the officer or anybody else that said I patted her down and she didn't have anything or whatever, that person's not going to feel as like he did his job.
Mm-hmm.
He ensured the safety of his teammates, whether they're on fire or EMS or whatever. We all work for the same city. We're all doing the same job. Like there are differences in them, but we're all first responders, right? We have to ensure our own safety. What's the number one priority? It's officer safety, right? It should be the same thing for EMS and fire.
Yeah.
Right? You guys are not going to go into a building that's collapsing just for the sake of going in, right?
Right. Well, you would think that, but
You would think, but people
Yeah.
make dumb decisions all the time, and it's not you
Yeah.
guys. It's usually up above,
Yeah.
right? And I come down to the common sense thing where it's just like, I'll say it from this perspective. Whenever I had somebody that needed to be transported, and they were like, unless it was like an 85-year-old woman that's just being transported for some medical need, right?
Yeah.
If it was somebody that was we had issues with, or we knew that they had a violent history,
Mhm.
or suffered from mental health issues, which can turn violent,
Yeah.
right? Hey, man, I'm going to pat you down. I'm going to make sure you don't have any weapons to ensure the safety of them. If not, I'm riding with them.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of the times, my previous policy is that, or was that, if they were in custody, an officer's riding with them.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was like standard of if they're
Should be.
in custody, there should be an
Right.
officer in the back of the ambulance
Because
with
of-
them.
Because of we're reliable for them.
Yeah.
Right. And it's safety. Why? If I'm not riding in the ambulance with somebody when I have somebody in handcuffs because they're in custody for some kind of property crime or a person's crime, right?
Yeah.
Generally, the most common things. Yeah, then that's a problem, right?
Yeah. Like,
That's a common practice that we're going to be either they're going to be transported to the hospital in our patrol cars, or they're going to go on EMS and one of us is riding with them.
Yeah.
Right. Now, at the same time, EMS can request that if they're not in custody or anything like that, but they've kind of had a weird interaction with them or the history of that person. Because let's be honest, how many times you guys run into the same people all the time?
Oh, all the time.
Right. And
All
how
the
many
time.
times do you guys request for like an officer to either follow or be on
Almost
there?
never.
That's
See, and that's the problem, though. That is the problem because
it's a simple request.
Yeah, but these paramedics and these firefighters, like, we fall into this trap of, well, nothing bad has happened lately thing. And it's like the deviation of normal. No, I'm getting all fucking and too much
you're good.
coffee and shit. Deviation of normalcy. So we watched. They made us watch a video a couple years ago about this guy who was talking about NASA and the space shuttle that blew up. I think the Challenger or whatever.
Yeah.
And how it was caused by that O-ring.
Yeah.
Well, they'd used that O-ring so much they knew that it was a problem, but nothing had happened. So they're like, well, it didn't fail last time, so it's not going to fail this time, even though they knew that it didn't seal correctly, but it hadn't been a problem until it was, and then it was a catastrophic problem that cost a bunch of people their lives.
Yeah.
And that's what we do on a daily basis as firefighters and EMTs and paramedics. It's because, well, this person, like, I ran a call, it's been probably 6 months ago, came in as like a automatic alarm type thing. And I was actually riding out as a battalion chief that night. So we show up to this high-rise apartment complex, go up to the 8th floor, and there is fire extinguisher everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And we're like, what the like, okay, every time, like, whenever we try to reset the system, if anybody walks around or whatever, it's just going to set it off again because that dust just floats up and flies around or whatever. So we're sitting up there and we're kind of like spitballing ideas and kind of going back and forth. And the door to this apartment opens. And this lady comes walking out, naked as the day she was born. Crazy, like just being ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
Of talking nonsense, not making any sense, walking back into her apartment, slamming the door, coming back out. So I'm like, okay, we see what happened. She came out, set off all the fire extinguishers in the hallway, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So we get the cops there. The cops put her in handcuffs, put her on the cot because we're taking her to behavior health, right?
Yeah.
So I asked the paramedic, I'm like, hey, do you want to ride her? Like, and she's like, oh, no, we're good. And I said, okay. So we leave, and the pumper leaves, and everybody leaves. Well, apparently she's like talking to this person in the back of the ambulance, and this individual assures her that she's gonna be cooperative and all this. So she tells the cops, take the handcuffs off. Not 2 seconds later, she is fighting in the back of the ambulance with this person.
I believe it.
It's like, why? Like, just because she was chill for 2 seconds, like you saw the state she was in, let's just err on the side of caution. Drive the 6 blocks to the fucking hospital with her in handcuffs. Like, let's just be safe for everybody. But we don't want to do that. We want to be like the cool friend or something.
I've seen that more times than I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
Right. And it's I think it's just because of the experiences that a lot of people have gone through, where it's like, well, people love fire and EMS. They might love you, but if they're going to do if they're in the mindset to do something bad, they're going to do it.
Yeah, they're going to take the easy target.
Right. They're going to take the one that's not trained to fight and shoot and everything like that.
Yeah.
And who knows what that person's background is.
Yeah.
But if you're comfortable and you're getting complacent, it's just like, oh, it's just another call, then bad things happen. I'm not saying that happened to Graham. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's a common theme, even for police officers, to get complacent because things haven't gone bad in a while. So you're just relaxed. It's a normal state.
Yeah.
But then we have to remind ourselves that just like within, it can at the flip of a quarter, it can go from really good to really, really bad.
Yeah. Well, and so that brings up another thing, though, of how do you walk that line to not be paranoid all the time?
Like a hypervigilance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be hypervigilant, but at the same time, you have to be aware of everything.
Yeah.
Like,
honestly, I think it's a mindset thing. And it's tough to say, right? Where like even in my experience, like I've gotten to the point sometimes where I know where I'm being way too complacent. And I like will check myself, be like, yo, like you got too relaxed on that and you got lucky. Or it's just you're getting too relaxed in general. It's just self-checking. Or maybe it's a buddy calling you out because you got lazy on something. Yeah. Like my number one priority obviously is officer safety and keep my buddies safe. I will always take that over anything, right? Even if it's not the most dangerous situation, I don't want it to get there. So I will try my best to make sure it stays safe, right? Well, I've been checked before by a buddy on a search. He's like, hey, he calls me in. He's like, hey, it's not a huge deal, but look at your position of where your gun is. Right?
Yeah.
The guy's in handcuffs. I've got complete control over him based on my leg position and everything like that when I'm searching him. But my gun came pretty close to where his hands were. Right? Is he going to be able to pull that out of the holster? Probably not, but it's still there.
Right.
Right? If he wanted to try, he could. And that's one of those things where even if you're not being complacent, just those little minor checks from either you or a buddy can be the difference between something going south.
Yeah.
Right? And that's just holding each other accountable and holding yourself accountable. Right? I bet you I never did that again.
Yeah.
Right? I was only on the street for a year and a half at that point, and I was still, like, in my opinion, and I felt like I was a pretty solid officer when it came to safety. But just that little thing that my buddy came to me and was like, hey, I want you to look at this from my point of view, showed me his body cam and showed me that. I was like, all right, like I'll learn from that and that'll never happen again.
Yeah.
Right. So,
well, and that's one of those things that maybe it wasn't necessarily, a mistake or something like that, but it's something that you can do better.
Right.
And honestly, that's what you need to be doing your whole career.
Yep.
Like you need to learn from those things of, not necessarily near misses, but things that could have been near misses or close to near miss adjacent.
Yeah.
It's that one little thing of, hey, if do this or do that or whatever, and it makes you better in the long run.
I'm not afraid. And I'm not afraid to own up to that either. It's just, and like you're right, near miss or whatever. Maybe it wasn't a near miss, but what happens when it becomes a near miss?
Yeah.
Right. So your job is to get rid of that and to avoid it at all costs. And that's where you'll see. It's usually around the 5-year mark where cops will become complacent.
Mm-hmm.
And because you'll get the new guys, if they're solid officers, the new guys that come out of the academy, obviously they just went through training. They're hyped up, ready to go, right? They're already hyper-vigilant without being hyper-vigilant because they got sensory overload from all this information. I'm trying to make sure that I'm safe while also taking in information on this call, while also like watching my surroundings, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why a lot of young officers, you'll notice that they'll miss information that an experienced officer will pick up, whether that's the information in a statement or it's the actions of an individual that are subtle, but we pick up on as experienced, personnel, right? Yeah. But the young one won't because they're just, they're trying to impress their FTO so they don't get a bad grade. They're trying to watch this person's actions to make sure that they don't pull a freaking knife or a gun on them or try to fight them, while also listening to them tell them what happened. So while all this is coming in, like they're getting, it's a distraction thing, right? Yeah. Your mind is doing the right thing, but at the same time, it can kind of hinder, right?
Well, and you don't have the experience to process all of that information. You can't categorize it.
You don't know what's important and what's not important, right? Because I can sit on scene and listen to somebody talk to me for 45 minutes, and then I go to my report, and it's the paragraph of their statement's maybe 10 sentences long, right? Yeah. But I could have wrote 5 pages for all the things they told me. That's because I've been doing it for a while, and I understand what is important, what is not. What does the DA want to know? What does CID want to know? And what information is pertinent to the statute that I need to apply to this to either get a person charged or not, right? If I don't have that information, then I can't charge it. But if I can get that information out of that statement, whether it's 5 minutes or 45 minutes, I'm going to use that pertinent information. I'm going to shorten up that report and make sure it's good. Younger cops can't do that. That's why it takes them so long to write reports, because they can't decipher the information yet. No. It's okay, right? I'd rather you, watching junior cops, I'd rather you miss some of the information, because that's why you have a secondary cop there. That's why you have an FTO there. I'd rather you miss some of that and be the safest freaking officer on scene than, because at the end of the day, what can we do? I can go back and review body cam, right? Who cares? That's the least of my concerns. Yeah. You will learn how to take a statement and be safe at the same time. Yeah. But let's be safe first. Yeah. Right. That's a priority. Yeah. Getting home. So,
but I've tried to, and I think most of the people that I've talked to about that kind of get it, the safety aspect of it. Mm. And I had the benefit of not long after I got promoted to slide into a safety officer role. So I got to see things from a different lens of how we do things, and maybe we shouldn't do some of the things that we do. But, talking to my guys on the truck about that stuff, it's like, hey, I'm never going to put you guys in a situation that I think is one that I haven't done myself and that I don't think that you're going to walk out of, you know. But it's just different experience level. Like, I know, like, perfect example, one of my guys, he's new to the truck. Like, I've had him for about a year. And we started working on doing, like, roof stuff, walking around on the roof and cutting holes and, like, doing that kind of, tactical type stuff. Yeah, I used a big word. Anyway.
It's still pretty cool watching you guys. It's cool watching you guys up there, like, just fuck up houses. Especially when it's like a dope house.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we had a house in the city of my previous agency that always had issues with this kid. He was a piece of shit. But his house caught on fire one night. I'm just watching you guys just destroy this house, knowing that he is no longer an issue in our city because he can't come back to this house.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And it was like in the middle of a snowstorm too, because I was like, so
Oh.
not only that, is your house on fire and they're busting holes in your roof? Like now you got to deal with all the moisture and everything that's going to
it's
get into that house. So if
yeah.
it's not already destroyed by the fire in the fire department, it's going to be
Yes.
destroyed by the elements outside of that. So we'll see you later, bud.
Yeah.
Like
So, but yeah, just showing him all the tips and techniques that I've learned in over 20 years of doing that kind of thing. And, he's slowly getting his confidence up to be able to, do some of the things that I do second nature. And it's like, it's cool to see, but it's also cool to go back and review some of the things, some of the stuff that I've done in the past and go, yeah. Oh, hey, man, by the way, don't do this because this is stupid.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah. So, like I said, there could be some policy changes. I don't know what the policies are where you're at. I don't know what the policies are for the police department, right?
Yeah.
I don't work for them. I understand that the county that they're in, depending on where they're at, maybe more of a stranglehold on whether they can and cannot do certain things. But what's the worst that happens, right? If I'm a police officer and I tell somebody, it's this simple, you're being transported for a medical issue, right? Whatever it is, mental health, an injury, or anything like that, whether it was sustained in an accident or it was sustained through the fight of police officers or some other stupid thing, right? Before you get on that ambulance, you're going to get patted down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not only one, if you've been detained or in custody at any point, you're getting patted down anyways.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, not to mention that once you get to the hospital, pretty much every hospital in the area, they're going to search you and they're going to search through all of your bags.
Yeah. So
why are we becoming the weak link in the chain?
well, we're supposed to be the strongest, right?
Yeah.
So you're getting patted down no matter what, right? If I find something that is of criminal nature and at any point during that pat down or search of your person, and if it ends up being something that I could charge you with, I'm either going to make the decision to not charge you or I'm going to submit it. And if it gets kicked back, who cares, right?
Yeah.
If it gets dropped, who cares? At that point, like I've kept that person safe,
Right.
and everybody else, and everybody's like, well, it's a violation. It is and it isn't, right? Because I'm looking at it from the perspective of public safety, right? And the safety of my teammates.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not patting this person down. I'm not searching them in a way to violate their constitutional right to charge them with something. I'm ensuring the safety of other people.
Yeah.
And whether that starts on the ambulance, at the fire truck, or at the hospital, right? Because if that person gets to the hospital with a knife or a gun, guess who's responsible? Everybody leading up to that point.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take the brunt of that. I'm the police officer. I'm the one that's supposed to ensure that safety if I'm on scene.
Yeah.
Right? That's number one priority. Officer safety and scene security.
Yeah.
Because if those two things go out the window, nothing is safe.
Yeah.
And you guys shouldn't be responding on scene until the scene is secure.
Yeah.
Right? That's the first question we get asked when you guys are staging. Is the scene secure for medics or fire?
Yeah.
No or yes. Right?
Yeah.
Nope. Hold up. We still got an unknown, or we still having an issue with this guy or girl. Okay. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
All right? Because I can't have you guys providing medical treatment or anything like that if it ain't safe.
Right.
Because I'm responsible for you guys. So at the beginning of it, it's if you want medical treatment, you're going to get patted down. All right? I'm going to make sure that you guys are good to go. Okay? If it's of exigency where this person was, who knows? They got to get to the hospital quick, right?
Yeah.
Right?
So those are different circumstances
Right.
than we're dealing with a person who was walking down the highway or somebody who was like alert and conscious and like oriented and knows
Alert,
what's
conscious, and breathing.
yeah, alert, conscious, like all that shit. like, so when you start talking about exigent circumstances, and if the person's like, if it's an actual emergency,
Yeah.
they need to get to the hospital, I'm not as concerned, with one exception of an overdose issue.
Yep.
And them getting Narcaned and then waking up and wanting to fight.
Yep.
I've seen it.
Oh yeah.
Or suicide attempts also. Whenever they wake up and they've failed, they can be kind of violent.
Yeah.
I've run into that several times. I'm not as worried if it's like, anything else. If they're unconscious or you're actively like putting tourniquets on and doing all, like, I'm not as concerned that person is going to be a danger to us.
Because the mindset of where they're at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost a non-factor.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe that's a blind spot for me. Like, I will 100% own that, of maybe I should be more worried about that.
Maybe not, because at the end of the day, if you're putting tourniquets on somebody and they actually need them,
Yeah.
Their blood loss is probably at a level where they're probably just begging for help at that
Yeah.
point, right? Or they're unconscious.
Yeah.
So
that doesn't, like, I'm cool with that.
yeah.
Like, I'm not so concerned about that. But whenever it's somebody, and it's the call that we run the most, these people are up walking around. They're at least responsive to verbal stimuli. Now, whether or not they're talking about, pink dragons and, people trying to ninja themselves or whatever, crazy shit they may be saying, those are the calls that I worry about more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because they're already in an altered state. Like, they're not firing on all 8 cylinders. Like, there's some misfiring going on there.
Yep.
So what's going to happen when you put them in an enclosed space with one other individual? Like, who knows when that switch is going to flip?
Do you guys have a policy that determines when you can and cannot secure somebody to the bed?
So, yes, we do. I am not 100% clear on every circumstance
Right.
for that. I've seen it done it multiple times, throughout 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's typically when they're actively fighting. Like, and it's typically an EDP patient.
So not a propensity for violence. They've already been violent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've never seen anybody preemptively, unless they're already in handcuffs when the cops got there, or like when we got there, and they're in handcuffs, and like, then we just put them on the cot, strap them down, and secure them. So it's,
like I said, I don't know the policies or anything like that, and it's gonna be agency specific, right?
yeah.
But what's a simple fix, right? We have guys on the street cops, that if they are on scene, hey, make a good decision, right? Let's make sure that this person is safe. And in these instances, those people are they can get very violent.
Yeah.
And they are unpredictable.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and on the same, like, I'm not trying to put everything, and I'm really not trying to put anything on the police department or even, medics in general, but we all need to do a little bit better of a job. I think the person or the individual or the entity that I really blame the most for the whole situation is our court system and our prosecutors.
I agree with that.
In this case, I know from what I've been told is the prosecutor argued against bail when she assaulted the cop, and the judge gave her bail anyway, and a very low bail. I think there needs to be a zero tolerance policy of, if you're assaulting a police officer, you don't get bail. Period. And especially not $1,000. Like, I mean,
I have some stories. So
I get it, but like,
I just
we have to draw the line somewhere.
Right.
And if you're going to allow people to assault police officers, by extension, I mean, we get assaulted, EMTs and paramedics and firefighters get assaulted at the same fucking rate.
Yeah, I believe
like there's a study, like I did a Instagram thing about it. I've even got it written right here. Like, it's every day.
I would be surprised that if you guys aren't assaulted more than we are. I did I say that right? I wouldn't be surprised, right?
Yeah.
Because, and I want to make it very clear, I'm not blaming anybody, right? I'm not blaming the police officer. I don't know what he did on scene.
Yeah.
I look at it from my point of view as a police officer.
Right.
It's like I start there. If
Yeah.
I'm on scene, this is how I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Whether he did that or not, I don't know. I wasn't there, right? And if it, from what I understand, is that we don't know whose knife it was, and unfortunately, if it was Graham's knife, then that's not something that I can change as a police officer, right? If I've done my job and patted that person down and ensured the safety of the EMTs and everybody else, then outside of that, I mean, I've done what I needed to do, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not blaming anybody. I don't want you. I look at it from my perspective as being hard on myself. That if I'm on scene, this is what I'm going to do, right? So whether there's a policy change that needs to come across the board for all agencies, fire, EMS, and police, that if this is happening and under these circumstances, obviously their legal team is going to have to look at policies, right? It always goes through legal before it gets approved for policy.
Oh, yeah.
Right? If it falls within our abilities to do so, then they need to be patted down and searched before they get transported in lieu of exigent circumstances, right? So,
well, and
so beyond
time,
that, so beyond these things, right? So I think we understand that there are some things that we can do on the street as police officers, fire, and EMS to ensure our safety a little bit better, right?
Yeah.
And that's always a conversation that everyone has. The shitty thing is when we do our jobs right and the system fails us.
Yeah.
On the prosecution side.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly believe when I found out about this and I found out that she had already assaulted a police officer and attempted to take some form of a weapon from him. Mm-hmm. One was at his house.
Yeah.
Right? And then tried to enter his house. And she gets $1,000 bail. That's not okay. You're not doing your job. One, you're not listening to your prosecutor.
Yeah.
Or you're not listening to your DA or anything. And then as a judge, you want to be a soft bitch and hand her $1,000 bond.
Yeah.
All right?
And what's the consequences for that judge whenever they do stuff like that?
They don't have shit. At least from what I understand, there is no consequence.
Yeah.
Right?
Why?
Why
can't they be held accountable as well for making bad decisions? Like, if you look this individual up on CaseNet, the one that assaulted and murdered.
Yeah.
You look her up. Her rap sheet is nothing but fucking felony after felony, assault, like all kinds of shit. Longer than my fucking arm.
Yep.
And she's just constantly getting released and back out. Like, never doing jail time. Why? Like, why are we allowing this to happen? Why aren't we holding our justice system, supposed justice system, why aren't we holding those individuals that are in that system responsible?
I feel like we've tried to do it for so long and they just refuse to do it that we're starting to give up. And it's a sad thing. Right?
Yeah.
It's bullshit. It's complete bullshit that if I have somebody that gets assaulted, like, let's talk about this. Let's talk about how I found out that this lady in my previous city had fought 3 of our officers. We arrest her for assault LEO, take her back to the station, bond her, and guess who doesn't want to fucking hold her? The county.
Of course not. Why would they?
Because it's a municipal charge. Oh, we don't have the staff. Whatever. We don't have the room. We're not going to hold her. Guess where she goes? Back out on the fucking street. Right? Mm-hmm. Because at that small municipality, that is a temporary holding station. They can't hold her overnight unless she's on a 24-hour investigation. Right?
Yeah.
If she's already been bonded by our municipal judge and she can't post it and she can't get a bail bondsman to come get her and we need officers back on the street, we're going to ROR her and kick her. because county doesn't want to hold her. I saw that in my last 2 years with them. Bad shit would happen. And that fucking county wouldn't hold them. And the sad thing is that I worked alongside a lot of those guys. The deputies don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Right? It's not up to them whether their jail holds somebody. I don't hold them at fault, and a lot of them are really, really good dudes. But when I have some fucking sergeant or some fucking major in that county jail, whatever it is, lieutenant, I don't give a fuck. If you're sitting there at your desk and some information comes across your freaking desk and a phone call and a message relayed through CAD that this municipality was just assaulted, their officers were just assaulted by this lady, they're requesting that you hold. So that way we can avoid this issue again. And your dumbass fucking looks at it and goes, nah, we don't have the space. Fucking create the space. Right?
Yeah. Well,
dude, my fucking anger with that shit and having to deal with it for the last 2 years that I was at the municipality, it made me want to leave this job. It literally made me want. I talked to my fiance so many times, but I am so done with this shit. Like, what's the point of doing this job if laws aren't going to be enforced?
Right.
When I arrest, oh my God, when I arrest some girl for flee and elude, an unsecured child in the back seat, brake checks me, almost causes me to hit her, damn near a pursuit, and she gets a $500 fucking bond from my municipal judge. Fuck you, by the way. After I wrote up a long PC statement as to how she's a danger to society and her fucking child and all the things that she did, and he comes back with a $500 bond. You're a soft bitch. You are the softest of soft. And you know what? I had a lot of respect for that guy as a prosecutor before he became a judge. When he sent that $500 bond back, dude, the amount of motherfucks I wanted to give him.
Like I cannot even. Oh, man. I can't even fucking fathom this shit.
Bro, I promise you that was a normal day. That was a normal day every single day. And then I go to my new agency, and arresting somebody is so fucking easy. Getting prosecution is so easy. I can get a $50,000 bond on my own report. One, I write good reports. I'm not going to shy away from that. I write very, very good reports because I'm diligent and I'm articulate, and I fucking love when somebody needs to go to jail, they're going to go to jail, right? I don't need a detective or anything to get a good bond on somebody. Here, I needed a detective to get a felony charge on somebody. And you know what that detective would do? I love my former teammates, don't get me wrong. But if I need you to get a felony charge on somebody, get a bond so I can take them to county, get them off the street because they just beat the shit out of their wife, and you want to not pick up your phone as the on-call detective, fuck you. That's your job.
Yeah.
I'm out here on the street doing my job because I'm required to be out here. You're required to pick up that phone as the on-call detective. You don't pick it up and do your fucking job, we're going to have a problem. You know what? It happened every single fucking time that I had a problem. And now, I didn't want to come on this podcast and cuss a lot, right?
Well, we made it like almost an hour in.
But I got so frustrated and angry and disappointed and disheartened by that system because it didn't end at county. It started in our own freaking department.
Oh, yeah. Of
complacency, laziness, and no accountability. And it's just the way it is. Fuck you. Come on, man. Bro,
I
that shit right there is how this happens. Yeah. That's how that happens. Yeah. It's not because we fail on the street or anything like that. Yeah. Right? I think we fail sometimes. But this right here, this guy should be alive today if that judge had not been such a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
And actually handed either her a no bond, whatever, or handed her a high enough bond that she couldn't post it. And you know what? I don't know the side of bail bondsmen. I don't know if they can be held liable for things. But I know that as a human being, you can make a decision as to whether you're going to help somebody out or not. And as a bail bondsman, you should have a fucking level of integrity and human.
Most of those people
You
are pretty
should.
much scumbags.
You should, but I could agree with that. I think the majority of them are fucking scumbags.
Yeah.
And every single person I've come in contact with that's a bail bondsman,
Mm-hmm.
they usually fit the fucking picture
Oh, yeah.
of being a scumbag.
Yeah.
Right?
We talk about stereotypes for a reason. There's a reason they're portrayed one way in movies.
Fuck, bro. Like, where's the accountability in that?
Bro,
And there probably isn't any.
No,
because
there's
that's
not.
that's why that guy can go bond this girl out on $1,000 bond at 10%. She pays him $100 and she's scot free.
Yeah.
Right? And then she goes out 3 days later and murders a freaking EMT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if it was his knife or somebody else's knife. I really don't.
The situation should have never happened.
Should have never happened. It should have been avoided completely because she should still be in county jail.
Yeah.
On a freaking
Felony
charge. Yeah, felony charge. But you release her on $1,000 bond.
Yeah.
Or you bond her on $1,000 and she gets a bail bondsman. She gets released by only paying $100. Whatever his freaking policy is at 10 to 20%. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude. And I'm sure he's sitting at home making all the money that he does. And he's like, oh, man, I should feel bad for, bonding her out. He doesn't.
No.
Because most of those guys are scumbags. And if you have a different opinion, dude, then fucking say it. But there's probably a reason why. And if he has spoken out, all right. But if he hasn't, fuck you.
Haven't heard the judge say one word. Haven't heard the prosecutor say a word. Haven't heard, anybody.
Because they don't care.
Yeah. They don't.
And if you want to sit, if
don't.
you want to sit here and tell me that you do, you haven't proven it.
Oh, and here's the thing.
Because you didn't prove it here.
Yeah.
You didn't prove it at first when she came into the jail for assaulting an officer on his own property, trying to enter his house, trying to take his knife, everything like that. You didn't prove it there.
Yeah.
So good luck proving it now that you actually care because you didn't at first.
Yeah.
Because you're this scumbag judge as well that walked in and was like, didn't listen to the opinion of your own DA.
Yeah.
And told him pretty much, go fuck yourself, him, her, whatever, to go fuck themselves. And then you issued $1,000 bond.
Yeah. And let's all not forget that judge, it's an elected position.
And somehow we just keep electing the same dumbasses after another.
Yeah. And let's also not forget that this piece of shit, his degree is in pharmacy. Like, that's what he got his fucking degree in.
Got his degree in pharmacy and then went to law school.
Yeah.
So what were his actual intentions? Did he fail at becoming?
Well, he was a lawyer according to his LinkedIn or Wikipedia page or whatever that I looked up. He was a lawyer for like 8 or 9 years or whatever, and then got appointed by the governor whenever there was a vacancy. And then he's just won re-election because that's normally what happens because people go into these voting booths and they just see whatever the incumbent is.
What's this guy's name?
What was his fucking name? Oh, Louis Angles.
Like ankles like my ankle?
No, Angle.
Angle.
Yeah, like as in angles. Yeah. 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 Fucking, like...
I hate to say this, but I don't care if he's going against a Democrat. He ain't getting voted back in. And that's...
Oh, at 100%.
Tough for me to say, just because of this. This situation alone...
100% he needs to be held accountable. Like, the fact that there hasn't been a call to the Missouri Attorney General to investigate him and look at his past cases and to, like, remove him. And guess what? Guess who's the fucking judge? He's the fucking judge. Again. He was the judge over her. They were going to give her bond for murdering Graham. They had her on $1 million bond.
And he was the same judge.
And he was the judge that did her bond reduction, which he denied this time. Same fucking judge.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Like,
you know what?
You can't make this shit up.
The funny thing is that, and it's not funny, but I will say if we go through his history, as to the bonds that he's put on people for shit like this, they're all probably consistent.
Oh, yeah.
Low-level bullshit bonds because he's soft.
Yeah.
Now, if I said anything that comes off as like, I don't know, overbearing, and we can talk about it after this, toward a judge, then that's something that could be edited out. Like, but dude,
no, I don't think you said anything that's.
You're nothing more than a coward at that point.
Yeah.
You don't want to enforce the law. You've been elected to enforce the law. You're not doing it. You're not doing your job. It's time for you to get out.
Yeah.
It's time for you to be removed from that office, and a new judge needs to be appointed.
Yeah. Well, and I think that there probably should be some kind of term limit or time limit for judges.
Fucking remove him. Put a pro tem in there until the next election.
Yeah.
Somebody who's better than this.
Yeah. Or, maybe instead of allowing people to remain in these positions for time after time after time, it's a one and done.
And people might think I'm dumb because I may be speaking out of line. I don't know how the judge process works. I just know when a judge doesn't do their job and when they don't. Or when they do and when they don't.
Yeah.
Right? I'm a street cop.
Yeah. Well,
I do my job on the street, and I expect you to do your job as a judge. Yeah. That's why we have layers of the system.
Well, and it's not hard to find out these judges' records. Like, you can go online and find all of this fucking information.
Yeah.
You can look them up. You can look up their cases. You can look up their rulings. Like, this shit is public record. So maybe, and I'm sure he probably won't see this, but Missouri Attorney General, maybe do some digging. Like, there needs to be a reform. And, like, we need some hard do not pass go standards, and we need the people to uphold them.
We have zero tolerance for a lot of things, right? So,
well, we have supposed zero tolerance for a lot of things.
Well, one of them, is an absolute zero tolerance domestic stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's probable cause to make an arrest on a domestic situation. You're going to make an arrest. We have zero tolerance on that. We have the ability to have zero tolerance on DUI, which should be zero tolerance anyway, right? So this is what blows my mind, right? Because I'm
still with you.
There's you'll have agencies that'll post it's 4th of July weekend. We have zero tolerance on DUIs. So what about all the other days?
Yeah.
Are we just booking releasing people? Are we just not doing fields? Are we not arresting people for DUIs? I'm pretty sure DUI is zero tolerance all the time.
I mean, you would think.
Right. So what the fuck, right? But the one thing I will say is, when it comes to domestic violence laws in the state of Missouri, Kansas, any surrounding states, that is a zero tolerance, you're going to get arrested, right?
Yeah.
If there's probable cause. Why do we not have zero tolerance for certain things like that?
Yeah.
If it's not considered a violation of somebody's rights to have a zero tolerance, statute for domestic violence laws, why don't we have zero tolerance for assault on first responders, assault, battery, or anything?
Yeah.
Right? Should be go straight to jail.
Yeah. That's a good question, man.
It's laziness.
Ultimately, that's what it is. I think it's laziness, and they don't want to, overwhelm the court system or whatever. I'm sure they have some kind of justification in their minds. But I think ultimately it comes back to the people that make those decisions are so far removed from what it was like to be on the street, or they never were on the street, that they don't get it. They don't understand, and they don't care. And ultimately, I think it's just they don't care. They don't see it as a problem. They see it as, that's just part of the job. I'm sorry, it's not part of the job. I saw so many fucking comments online that's what he signed up for. Sorry, no, that is not what any of us fucking signed up for. I don't know about you, but I signed up to help people and to be a service to my community.
Yeah, not to get stabbed in the heart 3 times.
Yeah.
Right?
And not to get shit on by every news media going, oh, well, these guys make so much money. Well, guess what? You want to know the reason why I made so much money is because I worked an ungodly amount of fucking overtime hours.
What does the money have to do with anything?
Bro, I don't know, because it's in every fucking, and I've seen it nationwide. Every major city has done a piece recently on first responders and how much money they make.
What scumbag wrote an article about how much money
Look it up.
Graham made and
I don't know about
okay.
that.
I was going to say
no.
But what
I'm talking about in general.
Okay,
like,
well, what relevance does it have? Okay, all right. So
exactly
this,
what relevance does it have?
What relevance does it have that I'm in a dangerous fucking job and how much money I make?
Yeah.
Right? Does that mean that just because I make a certain amount of money that I should be okay with getting assaulted and stabbed? I am in the understanding in my job when I fucking took the oath to protect my community and my country, that there was a potential small that I could get killed, right? I signed up for that, right? I understand that. What's my job as a police officer? To mitigate that risk, right? What the fuck relevance does it have that how much money I make? So the more money I make, then I should be okay with that?
Well, apparently, according to the news media, sure. And to all of the fucking keyboard warriors out there.
Well, if they want to use that logic, then the fact that the CEO of United Healthcare got.
Okay. Easy. I know exactly where you're going.
There should be no issue with that.
This episode just got fucking taken down from YouTube. You cannot post it to there.
You can edit that out.
But yeah, no, I get exactly what.
You know what I'm going with that?
Yeah, I get exactly.
If we're gonna use a scale.
Yeah, but that's my point though. Of it makes no fucking sense. Like it's not even a fucking argument. Like, and they always do it with. Like,
all right, let me rephrase it.
Yeah.
That the CEO of a big corporation within this country got offed. Then it shouldn't be a huge deal if we're comparing salaries to the expectation of getting killed.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. But yeah,
you're like, this just got taken down.
Yep. It's that's fine. It's fine.
Sorry.
We haven't had a strike in a long time, so it's.
But you know what, man?
Yeah.
Like,
no, but you're right. You're not wrong. And it pissed me off because, and it's weird how that shit happens because, like, his death happened, and then immediately I started seeing articles, and none of them from here, but like Denver, San Diego, like all of these other large cities.
Liberal.
Well, all large cities are liberal.
Yeah,
I mean, but they're all putting out these, the highest paid city employees or fire department and police department, like, and they do it here as well. They just had the good sense not to do it too close to when that happened.
I just don't understand the relevance of it.
It's hit pieces, really. And I don't understand why. Because, like, let's look at it logically, okay? So there are certain things you need in a major metropolitan area to make the city work.
Yep.
Okay? You need sanitation. All right? You need the water department. You need the power company.
Yep.
You need police. You need fire. And you need EMS. Those are must-haves. That's just to keep your infrastructure running. Why wouldn't you spend money on those things? And people don't understand that whenever you start cutting money out of all of those budgets, you get Los Angeles. Like, the mayor threw the fire chief under the bus, right? And she deserved to be thrown under the bus, in my opinion. But that's the mayor and the city council cutting their budget. They had no mechanics. The fire department had no mechanics. So they have a bunch of broken apparatus just sitting there. Chicago Fire. Like a city.
They don't get any kickbacks from the show?
Apparently not, considering their budget woes. They have a city block long lot with fire trucks. That's just the trucks, not the pumpers.
They're just not working.
That are just not working. They have fire stations that have no fire apparatus.
What is that? $500,000 to $1 million a truck?
Oh, depending
on the size.
Well, that's actually something that's in like debate right now because fire apparatus costs have more than doubled in the past 5 years, and wait time is out like 4 or 5 years. Like, it's pretty fucking ridiculous. And there's actually some municipalities who are petitioning the federal government to look into that, about apparently monopoly type shit.
Because who was it? Mostly Freightliner, Thomas.
So
Thomas still around.
Pierce has a big bulk of it.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, even the so-called smaller ones are subsidiaries. So it's like they're, you know what I'm getting at.
Yep.
It's the whole conglomerate thing. But anyway, like, you have these departments who have no apparatus, they have no funds. Like, so then what do you get? What happens? Like, you have your city fucking burned down, your EMS calls go through the fucking roof, and you have nobody to respond to them, so your wait times go up. Like, your crime goes through the roof because you don't have enough police. Like, and then you hamstring them by using bad policies for everybody. Like,
well, the fear is also, like, even if they're acting within policy, like, and I get it. Look at what's going on in some of these other counties where they can't even do their jobs because, or I wouldn't even say that. They're afraid to do their job because even if they're protected by case law, they still have the fear of being prosecuted by corrupt political.
And all of this stuff is
DAs.
so fucking stupid, because if you want to talk about results, let's go back to whenever New York City had stop and frisk, and they cleaned up Times Square. It went from being basically the porn central of America to being a place where you could take your family and be safe.
Yeah.
All because of stop and frisk and the policies put in place with hardcore policing. Now what's happened since they've stopped doing that?
Oh, I mean, it's gone up.
It's right back to what it was.
I mean,
not right back to what it was.
and the mayor of New York City's an idiot.
Yeah, well,
Like,
probably should be in prison, but whatever.
yeah, like,
Yeah. But I mean, if you have prosecutors and judges who are soft on crime, you have police departments that have bad policies, or just, officers who are afraid to do their job because they might be prosecuted for just doing their fucking job. And then you have fire departments that have fucking bad policies as well. Like, what are you getting? The citizens aren't getting their fucking tax money. That's for sure. And the tax is not going down. Taxes are only going up. Yeah. What are you getting for that investment?
You're not getting your money's back, obviously. Like, but what people don't understand is exactly that, right?
Yeah.
Damn, man, I'm paying all this money in taxes for the support system from fire, EMS, police, and I'm not seeing it. Mm-hmm. Like, the fact that there are cities out there that have a call wait time for either a priority call or just a standard call of upwards of 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I can see where people are getting frustrated, but it's not because we don't want to respond or anything like that. And it doesn't happen in my city, right? It's not that we don't want to respond; it's that we can't.
Yeah, because there's not enough of.
There's not enough, right? And I can see their frustrations, but the police department, fire, and EMS are not the ones to blame for that. We're still doing our job. It's everybody else.
Yeah. Well, it's multifactorial, or there's multiple reasons. And the two biggest glaring ones are, one, your city politicians and policies they've put in place. And two, it's recruits. We're not getting them. Like I've talked about it on this podcast multiple times with people. Whenever I applied to the fire department, there was almost 3,000 people that applied. Now, it's not uncommon for them to be less than 200. And basically just hire anybody that applies, because we need the bodies.
Got a heartbeat.
Yeah. You got a heartbeat? Is it, okay. Come on then.
Are you kind of sane?
Yeah.
All right, come on.
Well, that don't matter. But it's like, the scary part is, like, this is nationwide. This isn't just an isolated incident, right?
Yeah.
This is all over the country that this is happening. There's been some kind of cultural shift where people just don't really want these jobs anymore. Like, we still have some rock stars that are coming into these fields, but they're fewer and further between than they used to be.
Why would they, though?
Exactly.
Why would you want to come into a job where you're just constantly shit on?
Exactly.
Like,
and
that's
you really
why
don't make as much money as they say you make.
No, I mean, you're starting to see it now. Like,
Yeah.
pay rates for police officers and everybody else, they're fucking going up depending on where you're at, right?
But the dirty little secret to that is inflation it's not keeping up with inflation.
No. Like, it hasn't kept salaries and everything have not kept up with inflation since like the 1950s.
Yeah.
And even then it was bad.
So there was a guy on my job, several of them, who did they're super smart. Like, why they're firemen, I don't know, because they're like should be sitting in an office somewhere making a lot of money.
Yeah.
But they did some kind of actuary study of pay rate and like cost of living thing. And the actual best pay rate comparison was like 94 to like 98.
Or it was actually kind of
where it was that you got the best bang for your buck.
Yeah.
You were getting paid the most, but cost of living was the lowest.
Yeah.
Like where we're at right now, even though we're getting paid more than we've ever got paid before, we're actually worse off. Our dollar doesn't go as far.
Yeah. Well, we vote dumbass politicians into office that fuck up everything possible.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you get.
Yeah.
And instead of thinking with emotion and thinking with common sense, like we've got a bunch of idiots out there voting on emotion. Not anymore, I would say so, just because of like the past election.
Yeah.
I think people have just gotten so fucking tired of it that they're just like, and they saw exactly what was happening. They finally realized, okay, this is not the route that we want to go anymore.
Right.
Right. Let's see if we can make this change and where we need to go, where it's going to take us. Right. Yeah. Which is why it's great to have the election system. But at the same time, there's still a lot of corruption. There's still a lot of dumb shit that's going on. And that's not going to be fixed in 4 years.
No.
It's not going to be fixed in 8 or 12 years, right? And people need to understand that too. That, well, he had 4 years to do this, blah, blah. Dude, these guys have been corrupting the system for 40 years. Yeah. And you expect something to be fixed in 4? Yeah. It's not going to be fixed.
The only time that there is major change that happens in the political system like that is when you have a dictator.
But some of these idiots out here want, and I'm just like,
I have said it for years, bro. I said I think we need a dictator for like 10 years, just so everybody would know how fucking bad it really is, and then they might get off their ass and do something, and not be such idiots. Like, it would be fucking terrible. Don't get me wrong. But these people have, like, this weird, like, understanding of what it's like to live in other places.
That's because they've never left the United States.
Well, no, and they've probably never left their suburb either.
No, and then you got these kids that they go to school.
Oh,
they go to school.
We're out of time. We cannot.
I'm just saying, man. Like,
we dive down that rabbit hole.
Quick comment is just they go to school. They get corrupted by these liberal professors and everything like that, and they come out. One, these liberal professors have no fucking real world experience either.
No,
and they come out and they're just like, yeah, this is the way. It sounds good, right?
Yeah,
but it's not. So, anyways, like back to what we were talking about originally, since we were running out of time. This should have all been avoided, right? Yeah. Simple policy fixes within the departments can fix that issue, but it's not that. It's not the policies of these departments, because I guarantee that every single one of these guys probably acted in the safest fashion possibly, right? But when the justice system fails everybody else, this is the kind of shit that happens. It happened with my buddy of mine from the academy. Fucking violent guy gets released by this corrupt prosecutor, and what does he do? A week later, he fucking shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
Now she wants to feel sorry.
Yeah.
It's happened whether it's police, fire, EMS. It's happened before. Unfortunately, it'll probably happen again because people don't want to. They don't want to go after people like this and hold them accountable. And then, unless the AG actually steps up and investigates this guy or investigates why people are being released on low-level bonds when they absolutely need to be in jail and held on a higher bond because they're violent individuals, we got a problem in our nation.
Yeah.
So, and if it's not us getting injured, hurt, killed, anything like that, it's going to be innocent individuals. Because if she tried to break into a police officer's house, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, if you broke into my house, good luck.
Yeah.
Right? Who's to say they're not going to break into an innocent individual's house?
Yeah. And it was luck of the draw.
Yeah.
Luck
that
of
he
the
just
draw.
rolled up and it just happened to be his house.
Yeah.
But then instead of just being like, all right, I fucked up, like, no, I'm going to stick this path and fight this deputy.
Yeah.
Like, but those people don't care.
Yeah.
And whether she has the cognitive ability to understand that or not, that's for the judges to order and have her go through that psyche eval and determine whether she's mentally culpable or not. That's up to the judges.
Yeah.
Based on this guy, is it going to go that far? Probably not.
No.
Because
he's going to give her a low bond and kick her out. Because his caseload is, I got other stuff to do today. I got a tea time.
I feel bad. I feel absolutely terrible for you guys. And because I understand what that feels like to lose a teammate to something that is completely avoidable in that exact scenario where some prosecutor and judge release somebody when they shouldn't have been released to go out and kill one of our teammates. It's the worst fucking feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Right? His family didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve that. Teammates didn't deserve that. The city alone didn't deserve that. And it all comes back to this guy not enforcing the law. Right? Like I said before, I'm not faulting anybody on the street or anything like that. I look at it from my perspective as a police officer as to what I would have done if I were on there. I don't know what he did. I don't know what fire did. I don't know what the EMTs did before they got on board and started moving, if they even did get to move.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is that she should have never been on the highway. She should have been in county on a high bond. And this fucking scumbag of a bondsman should have used his brain.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry for you guys' loss. It's a completely avoidable situation.
No.
I'll say it again. I don't give a fuck where that knife came from.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to sit there and debate that, well, and you and I can talk off record about that. But if you want to talk about, or somebody wants to debate that, well, you shouldn't have had this, shouldn't have had that. Okay, we have tools that we need sometimes.
Yeah.
If that person is going to do something bad, it doesn't matter if she has a gun, knife, bomb, fork, spork.
Yeah.
If that person wants to hurt somebody, they're going to hurt them, and they're going to find a tool to do so.
Absolutely.
It's already in their mind. They've already made the decision to hurt somebody.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to find a way. And sometimes you just can't avoid that, but you got to mitigate it.
Yeah.
Right? So don't blame, people don't need to be blaming anybody else but this guy right here, this judge.
Yeah.
Who completely went against his DA's, recommendation.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Need to be held accountable, but I don't even know what that looks like.
This is a longer conversation than just an hour.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit more organization on my part. But
well, probably both of us.
I get sidetracked really quick on stuff, but that's because there's just so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah, this is dude, it's such a complex issue, and there's so many angles to look at. And, what's the shitty part about it is, like, police department can have their policies to make everything as safe as possible and to do everything exactly the right way. And fireside can have their policies to do everything exactly the same, exactly the right way. And it's still not going to be enough because of the thing that you said. When people make the decision to be violent, they are going to be violent regardless.
Yep.
And all of this talk about, and this is like leading into a longer conversation about de-escalation and that kind of stuff. The bottom line is you can only de-escalate people who want to be de-escalated. If they want to be violent, they're going to be violent, and they're going to be violent no matter what. If you take tools away or whatever, they will find something. And I know a lot of people haven't been in the back of an ambulance.
It's a small area.
It's a very confined space.
With a lot of shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit in there that you can pick up and hit somebody with.
Yeah.
Like,
I get anxiety just sitting back there.
Yeah.
It's tools you guys need, though, right?
Yeah, it's all things. Here's the thing. Everything back there is for saving lives.
Yep.
You can also use a majority of them to take a life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's just a different application of the tool.
No.
So anyway, we're going to put a pin in it for right there.
Yeah.
And
I will definitely come back and
we'll
dive a little bit deeper when I have a day that we can spend like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
And I'll write down notes and everything. So,
well, hey man, thanks for coming back. I appreciate it. And
Yeah.
Thanks for being the first guest on the revamp.
yeah.
Or whatever.
I told you I like it. I like the black and white.
Yeah, I'm still playing around with that.
And I like the angle too, because then I'm not looking at myself.
There you go.
I hate looking at myself. So
Yes, I still have some playing around to do. Like I like the old school like silent film type look. The only thing that I don't like is I don't like how it fades the corners so much.
Yeah.
But that's all, there's stuff that I need to play with still. But I'm taking a step in the right direction of what I want. So
you know who's really good at stuff like this?
Who's that?
My fiance.
Oh, really?
She was a professional photographer for like 15 years. And she may not be able to help out on the video side as much, but she knows how to do lighting and everything. I may be like, hey, you might need some help on this. And how can we fix that?
Yeah.
Like, she's
well,
brilliant when it comes to that.
It's probably she would be more familiar with settings on that camera.
Probably. Like she's...
Or even the editing, like the software side of it,
Yep.
to where like I could just film it in color, but then in
Oh,
the
yeah.
processing it could be
She
changed to
definitely
black
can
and
do
white.
that.
Yeah.
Like she's got her nice system that she's got a computer that has that like really expensive editing software on it.
Yeah.
That is powerful enough that it fried her computer.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, you have to have a lot of computer power on those things.
Yeah.
To run that software.
Yeah.
But when I first saw her do her editing on her photos, and she has everything preset the way that she needs it. She can click it and it just does everything that she needs to do. And of course, she's got like a $4,000 camera, and she's like this because she did it professionally.
Yeah.
Like she had clients and everything like that. It was her business.
Yeah.
So like, what do you? And she has the lighting and everything. Like she had a studio in the basement when we first met. She had a studio in the basement where she would do the photos and everything like that because she had an in-home studio. And just looking at all the equipment, I'm like, this is tens of thousands of dollars in equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And the fucking camera alone, $4,000.
Yeah.
And I know looking at that camera because like I've seen these cameras.
Yeah.
Right. And she
Yeah,
goes through
I
all the
have.
settings, and I'm like, I have no fucking idea what you're saying. Like, I'm smart in these areas, right? You
Yeah.
asked me to break down a gun and show you how it works and anything like that. Cool, I can do that. You
Yeah.
told me to pick up that camera and use it. Like, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like, click.
Yeah.
Good.
Pump the brakes.
That looks great.
Yeah.
I take a photo, and she's like, I love her. Picks it apart, but it's so crazy. Like, she sees that stuff from that angle because she has that experience. Whereas, like, if I'm in a situation, I can pick apart that situation.
Yeah.
Right? But it's insane.
Yeah.
I don't know how she did it.
I had lights and stuff set up. Obviously, you've been on before,
Yeah.
so you know. But yeah, I tore everything down because I was going to do another project, and ended up that project's kind of fallen through, at least temporarily.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I don't need all of those, all the lights and all that stuff if I'm going to be filming in black and white. So that's why I don't have any of those up, and like still messing with stuff. Trying to figure it all out.
I wouldn't be surprised if she walked in here and was like, "You just need a light right there." I'd be like,
"Yeah,"
and then you and I are gonna look at each other and be like, "Yeah, I'm dumb."
Yeah.
But it is what it is. That's why she's a
gap.
professional in that aspect.
Yeah, it's knowledge gap.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is. Like she's one of the smartest people I've ever met too.
Well, I'm not editing that out.
That's okay. I've told her that too. Like, she's one of the smartest individuals I've ever met. Doesn't have a degree or anything. She's just super street smart.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why she's an amazing police officer too. So, I'll end with that.
Well, thank you very much, Leon, for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Everybody, look, thanks for stopping by. Take care of yourself. And if you're struggling, reach out. There are resources out there. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself. And talk to you next time.